Many thanks for joining me on the Marketplace. Welcome back. Now, we are just 4 days into 2019, and some corporate executives have been assessing development in 2018 and also sharing their expectations for the new year. Let's first hear from the Director of Corporate Services for Cosmos Energy, who is also the coordinator of the Cosmos Energy Challenge, George Sapon.
2018 has been a very wonderful year for the Cosmos Innovation Center program. It's been exciting. We've had perhaps the best agri-tech challenge since we started the Cosmos Innovation Center program in 2016. We've invested 5 companies or startups that are going into incubation for this year. We've had over 600 applicants applying for the 2019 program, and therefore we are ready to take them on. We're going to pick about 120 out of them for the 2019 program. Now, I say it's been a wonderful year because Cosmos has also been the recipient of several awards. One of them memorable was the P3 Impact Award, a program that is run by the U.S. State Department and University of Virginia Darden Business School, called the Concordia program, that awards programs that have the potential and the promise to make significant impact in countries. Among 60 programs globally that they reviewed, we were picked as a finalist, and we had the opportunity to present to them on the wings of the United Nations General Assembly. And guess what? Cosmos Innovation Center program won. Domestically, we've also been the recipient of several other Best CSR Program, Sustainable and Social Investment Awards, several of them that makes us so proud. But we couldn't have done all this without you, our friends and supporters. I also want to take this opportunity to thank the entire Cosmos Ghana family. They've been very supportive of the program. Every one of them has been with us, and we are very grateful for everybody. So with that, I want to take the time to wish everybody, all our friends and supporters, a very Merry Christmas and a splendid New Year for 2019.
Let's also hear from the General Manager of the Paz Beach Hotel.
Our year has been a record-breaking year, and one that we will look back on with great pride of renewed friendships, new friendships, a year of huge exposure to the local marketplace as well as the international marketplace, and we're very proud of that. So in any way that I can think of, the year has been one of success, hard work, and an awful lot of good times. 2019 will be a year of consolidation in the marketplace, no doubt. Although that newcomers are coming to town, we welcome them. We think that if you're very good at what you do, you belong in the market, and our collective support for each other in the Ghanaian market is substantial. Obviously, as a market leader, we look forward to 2019 with huge amount of anticipation and excitement. It's looking very good. The books are looking good. So it's going to be a great year, no doubt. Coming up to Christmas, which is a superb time of year, we do something for everybody, for the whole family. Children are very much in the forefront of our minds at all times. Christmas Day will be very, very special. We're expecting certainly 350 people, and maybe a little visit from Santa as well would to be expected. New Year's Eve is our Caribbean night, which is going to be a very, very special party. Book now, because there are very few tickets left already at this point in time. It's going to be a fantastic night with live music and an awful lot of fun. So come and join.
Meanwhile, Vodafone Ghana has indicated it would begin the process to align its infrastructure to deliver 4G service to customers early next year. According to its chief executive, Yolanda Cuba, the license would help the company contribute positively to the country's digital revolution. The CEO of Vodafone Ghana has also been recounting some high points in 2018.
2018 has been a fantastic year for Vodafone. In this year, we celebrated 10 years of Vodafone being in Ghana, and that really was the highlight of everything that we did. We gave our customers an opportunity to actually win 10 times the benefits of what they was recharging. We actually went out and we opened up our network for free to customers as well, to data sessions. We invested a lot in our network as well to give you better coverage, to give our customers as well a better experience on our network. So it has been a fantastic year overall. So we're really excited. From a CSI perspective, I mean, we invested heavily in terms of the community in which we operate, and we started a project that I'm really excited about, which is around coding and teaching young people to actually use coding. And for us, that's really important because we do believe that we as Vodafone are there to actually play our part in digitizing Ghana and making sure that Ghana actually moves beyond where we are today. So we have a personal philosophy about igniting Ghana's digital revolution, and this is but one part of what we are doing in order to make sure that we achieve it. And if I look at a year like 2019, I'm looking forward to even more things to come. Our partnership with government have been strengthened through an agreed balance sheet restructuring, which means we can now go out and raise funding in a way that is sustainable for the business, and also partnering with government a lot better going into the future. And yes, the question that is on everyone's lips, when is Vodafone going to get 4G? I promise you, it's right around the corner. 2019 is our year.
All right, so those were some corporate executives sharing their thoughts on events within 2018 and giving their expectations next year. Away from that, telecoms giant MTN has been engaging in activities to enhance its brand with a focus on rewarding customers during this festive season. Some staff of the company have been donating baby care items and cosmetics to mothers who gave birth from 24th or from between 24th and 26th of December. Team leader Stephen Asari says the move is critical to strengthening the relationship between customers and the brand. Prince Appiah followed the distribution exercise in Kumasi and has come through with this report.
Since 2011, the MTN Ghana Foundation has donated over 1,500 hampers to babies born between 24th and 26th December. The donation is one of several ways the foundation has helped to make Christmas memorable for mothers. In Ashanti region this year, the company visited Kumasi South Hospital, KNUST Hospital, Ejoso, Menshia and Tafo government hospitals. They gave out 30 hampers in the region. Mobile money implementation manager in charge of the northern sector, Stephen Asari, led the team to make the donations.
As a company, we have taken it up as an annual ritual to put the laughter or smile on the faces of our newborn babies, especially the mothers. You know, it's also in line with our corporate social responsibility and our mission of making the life of our customers a whole lot brighter. So annually or every Xmas, we visit the hospitals to give those hampers to our newborn babies, especially to the mothers, just to put a smile on their faces. So basically, that is why we go around and do as part of our Xmas, activity and programs.
It was part of a nationwide exercise that saw over 100 hampers containing items meant for babies distributed across the country. Mr. Asari calls on other corporate institutions to emulate the gesture to support mothers, especially during festive periods like Christmas.
It's part of our corporate responsibility and as also fulfilling our mission of, making the lives of our customers a whole lot brighter. So we come here to do those, give those hampers to babies that were born on 25th and probably 26th of December. So it's a very good corporate social responsibility. So it will be nice that other businesses will also support and do same to help put a lot of smile on the faces of our, hardworking mothers.
Some of the MTN staff volunteers who were part of the visit were very proud. It was a day well spent for putting smiles on the faces of the mothers who received the gifts.
Let's turn our attention now into some aviation business news. And Ethiopian Airlines is targeting to grow its West Africa operations into the U.S. West Coast with its scheduled flights to Los Angeles. The airline on December 17 began scheduled flights from its Addis Ababa, Lome, Los Angeles route. George Rafe was on the maiden edition of the flight and has brought you the following report.
The Addis Ababa Lome Los Angeles flights are part of Ethiopian Airlines' new route development, which seeks to expand its network and create better connectivity in Africa and the rest of the world. The scheduled flights, which was launched on December 17, flew from Addis Ababa to Los Angeles, but did a transit to Lome, Togo. It took us about 15 hours to fly from Lome to Los Angeles, California, but on return was just about 12 hours. General Manager of Ethiopian Airlines in charge of Nigerian operations, Fireward Mekonnen, has been giving us more reasons for flying directly to Los Angeles.
The final agreement is going to be signed before the end of the year, but the MOA has already been signed, so we are expecting the detailed and then the final agreement to be out before the end of the year.
And we will see Ethiopian Airlines flying to Ghana, or there will be a new national carrier that will be worked out?
It's going to be a new national carrier, and then the management and everything, which is going to be also supported by Ethiopian Airlines. So the detailed agreement is going to come out as I mentioned it, but we are expecting to be a very strong and invariable national carrier for Ghana. Within this year, for example, in a minimum of 6 months' time, we have opened additional 10 destinations just within 6 months of time. So as passengers, what should be expected is more routes, more additional routes, more viable and comfortable terminal. We are also expanding our terminals in Addis Ababa, which will make it more convenient and more comfortable for our passengers. We are just changing the route. The destination has been there, but we are just changing the route so that all our West African passengers, which are the major traffic for this route, so that they can have a more shorter connection flight. But when it was via Ireland, Dublin, they had to go to Addis Ababa and then from Addis Ababa to Dublin. Now it's just a short flight. They have to catch. All they have to have is half an hour flight to Lome and then just straight away to Los Angeles. There's not even a technical stopover.
And so staying with aviation, passengers using the Kotoka International Airport are expected to declare their food items in their luggage with the Plant Protection and Regulatory Service Department desk for inspection. According to the Deputy Director at the Quarantine Division of the Directorate, Prudence Atipo, this has become urgent to avoid the country getting downgraded and possibly banned from exporting some food items into the European market.
When one is exporting or a traveler is carrying food items, either in this raw state or semi-processed state, you are supposed to declare them to the plant quarantine officers at the exit points, who are the Ministry of Food and Agriculture staff. They are supposed to inspect the items to make sure they are free from pests and diseases. If they are free from pests and diseases, that is when they issue a certificate to cover the items for you. And the cost of this certificate is the 50 cedis.
For me as a traveler, if I fail to declare and it's detected, are there any sanctions?
If you fail to declare and probably you take it outside, we cannot give you any sanctions, or there are no sanctions here. But what happens is that when it is detected outside, it's seized or destroyed, and then they give us notification. When the country receives notifications, our rating for export of plant and plant products falls. So it affects the country as a whole. Now, when other countries see that Ghana is exporting food and plant products full of harmful organisms, they may put stringent measures against our produce that go outside. And that is the more reason why you remember that in 2015 we were banned because of some of these things. It is
some developments on the local front. Let's now cross the boundaries of Ghana to look at some business stories making headlines elsewhere. And prices of crude oil fell to the lowest level in a year and a half as concerns over the global economy and turbulence in Washington overshadowed signals from OPEC that it may deepen output cuts.
Futures slide 6.7% in a shortened Christmas Eve session in New York, joining route in U.S. stocks as investors assess the threat from a government shutdown. The latest tumble left crude prices down by 44% since reaching a 4-year peak in October, including a 19% fall-off since OPEC and Russia announced major output cuts earlier this month. OPEC and its allies agreed to cut production on December 7th, but they've had little success so far in propping up prices. The United Arab Emirates Energy Minister Suhail Al-Mazuri signaled additional curbs could be discussed next year. Investors are skeptical the reductions will be sufficient to dent supplies, with U.S. crude output still above 11 million barrels a day. The UAE's energy minister said OPEC has the option to hold extraordinary meeting to decide on more output cuts if the current one isn't enough. At a press briefing in Kuwait, ministers from Iraq, the UAE and Algeria took turns repeating the message that OPEC will deliver its production curbs and continue to work with its allies.
And still in international business news, stocks markets in the U.S. have seen significant rises, with the Dow Jones up by nearly 5% and the technology-focused Nasdaq rising by nearly 6%.
In Asia, markets were following suit on Thursday, with Japan's Nikkei 225 up more than 3% in early trade. It contrasts strongly with the run-up to Christmas when stocks suffered their worst weekly falls in a decade. Analysts say data from MasterCard showed U.S. holiday retail sales up 5.1%, the strongest growth in 6 years. Confidence was also boosted by White House assurances that Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell's job was safe.
All right, so we're coming back on the local front here, and it's barely 4 days to the end of the year. The Bank of Ghana's new minimum capital requirement deadline is almost closed. So what would be the fate of commercial banks that would not be able to meet the capital requirement of 400 million Ghana cedis after December 31? It appears the governor of the central bank, Dr. Ernest Addison, would have to answer come January 2, 2019. George Wiafe has more in this report. We sincerely apologize for our inability to bring to you that story. We'll bring it to you back later in our subsequent bulletins. Let's take a short break here. We'll be right back after this. It's live on Marketplace now. The banking sector has been through a number of challenges within the year 2018. The regulator of the industry, the Bank of Ghana, undertook a number of interventions to strengthen the industry and all other institutions it regulates. As the year draws close to an end, we want to examine the various and most impacting regulatory interventions by the central bank. To do the discussion is Joy business researcher Philip Namfuri. Philip, so which one of them is the most impacting, and how did we even get here in the first place?
Okay, so I would say it's the minimum capital requirement directive that took place last year, September 2017, and we're now seeing its impact this year, like you just read earlier on. And the Bank of Ghana was very clear. It says, you know what, to meet this, you have two options. Either you look for fresh capital, or you convert your income surplus. That's your profit you've made. The excess of it, you convert it to your capital. So we saw that during the year, banks were doing a lot of this. Either they will look for fresh capital through rights issues from their existing shareholders, or they convert their profit into their capital. Then we also saw the directives that were issued from the Bank of Ghana, and all these were contained in the Banking Act. And we saw, for example, the Corporate Governance Directive, we saw the Fit and Proper Directive, and we saw the Voluntary Winding Down Directive. So all these were meant to, bolster confidence in the banking sector. The corporate governance was at the heart of the issues that that transpired. Then we saw on 1st August, that was the biggest of all in terms of the cleanup, when we saw 5 banks
collapse,
flushed out of the system, and we saw government, a new bank, Consolidated Bank Ghana, 100% government owned, being introduced or being given a license to operate. So this government-owned bank assumed the assets and liabilities of these 5 banks that were under. We also saw an announcement of the acquisition of shares in ADB. Remember that issue that came up? Yes.
When the ownership changed.
Exactly. So we saw the Bank of Ghana and now the ownership of shares by Belstar, etc. So now ADB is more or less a wholly government-owned or a public institution.
Yeah. Now, Philip, before you even proceed, I want to find out at this juncture if there are any banks which can't meet the minimum capital requirements just 4 days away. Can they have the opportunity to go down a step at this juncture to become a savings and loans or any other, within the hierarchy?
That would depend on the Bank of Ghana on the Bank of Ghana. I remember the governor saying during the discussions that if you can't meet it, then you step down to a savings and loans institution whatsoever. But at this time, 4 days to it, I don't know what exactly a bank can do. So we have to just keep our ears on the ground and see what exactly will happen come 2019, like you said in your earlier story. So I am literally itching. I want to see what exactly the full list will be of the banks that have met and what. I'm sure this is not going to cause panic whatsoever, but they gave you a deadline, 31st, and you're supposed to meet it. So let's see what will come out of the Bank of Ghana with regards to that.
So I mean, after this whole exercise, what should we expect, by way of a cleanup or sanitizing the industry? What should we expect after 31st of December?
Okay, so we should expect that the regulations that were introduced this year should manifest in the year 2019. One example is the one that the Ghana reference rates introduced to make market lending rates more efficient and dynamic, or more market friendly. Some were saying that it will take some time for it to kick in. So next year like this, we should see the full effect of interest rate reduction in the banking system. We should see more of the implementation of the corporate governance directives and all the directives that the Bank of Ghana issued. And we should see also there was this digital and virtual currencies. Bank of Ghana warned us that we shouldn't engage in any cryptocurrency whatsoever because it's not being regulated under the Payments Act. So we should see that new law come into place to envelope these digital or virtual transactions or currencies.
Now, beyond this, do we expect or can we have a situation where we have new local banks, applying for new banking licenses by meeting this capital requirements?
Okay, so
is it possible?
That will all depend on the Bank of Ghana. They would have all this information. We only here can speculate and juxtapose and say this. But right now, we want to see who has made the list and who hasn't made the list, and from there we can make very, very informed decisions. But I'm sure people who want to open a bank or two might want to even convert their savings or loans into a bank. It's up to them, but that we cannot say. It's the Bank of Ghana that will give us all this information.
All right, many thanks for that update, Philip Namfuri, our in-house researcher, bringing us up to speed with developments within the banking sector as the new minimum capital requirement deadline draws to a close by December 31. And on that note, we draw the curtains on this afternoon's edition of The Marketplace. My name is Emmanuel Abwachi. We are free. Have a good afternoon.